familiar with this look. It said, "Maddie, behave." I'd been getting it from multiple family members since I was a little girl. Being Maddie James meant always being on my best behavior because my parents were big deals on Daybreak Island. My dad, Brian, was the CEO of Daybreak Hospital, the only hospital on the island. My mom, Sophie, was not only his sidekick, but a force in her own right, running multiple businesses over the years, managing the hospital's social events, and participating in all kinds of community events. In this case, she and my younger sister, Sam, had brought the idea of the Daybreak Island Haunted Halloween Festival to the Chamber of Commerce, whose leadership and membership had all blessed the idea, as long as my mom took the lead. "Sure," she'd said, "Sam and I would be happy to." Which meant my sister Val and I had better be happy to also. I wasn't really sure what my role actually was, though my mother called me her right hand, which meant she was letting me handle all the day-to-day fun of planning this thing. Val had been tapped to manage the events taking place during the festival, which was a coup for her. She'd launched her own event planning business last year, and she'd already made a huge name for herself, especially after some celebrity attention we'd gotten over the summer. And Grandpa Leo was involved too. I'd made sure of that. Our cat cafe, JJ's House of Purrs, was running the pet costume parade, and I'd made Grandpa point man on the project. It got him involved, but it meant he didn't have to spend his time in meetings. Committees weren't really his thing. A shame, because I was totally contemplating handing my seat over to him. At least, that way I wouldn't have to sit in this funeral home any longer. Oh yeah, we were having our committee meeting in a conference room at the Tunnicliffe Funeral Home. Someone's idea of a twisted joke, I had to assume. Picking this place for a meeting was weird. I don't care how much of a Halloween junkie you are. The last time I'd been here was when my grandma died a year and a half ago, and I'd have been happy to never return. But no one else seemed bothered, so here we all were, right next to the room where Mrs. Phyllis Handy was getting embalmed. Well, maybe not right next door, but you get the picture. Creepy. JJ, my orange rescue cat, didn't agree. In fact, he was in all his sniffing glory, nose pressed to the floor around us, intent on whatever smells were lingering inside this place. I didn't really want to think about what those might be. Jacob Blair, the owner of the haunted inn at Lighthouse Point where the psychic was supposed to be staying, and where a large part of the festivities were meant to occur, didn't seem to notice me teetering on the brink of self-destruction. He was too busy drumming his manicured fingers on the table as he stared into space, thinking very hard about this conundrum, taking all of it way too seriously. I would think this psychic agreed to be here because he recognized that our town was quite up and coming on the Halloween front, not just because of the inn, he said finally, steepling his fingers under his chin and fixing his intense gaze on me. Also, because his mother asked him. That part was true. Balfour Dempsey, known in his circles as simply Balfour, the renowned psychic medium and tarot reader who usually spent his Octobers in the famed witchy town of Salem, had grown up on the island. He and his mother, Alice, had moved here when he was 1 or 2 years old. He'd left right after high school and never returned, something we'd had in common until I came back last year. But his mother still lived here. She actually worked part-time at the Daybreak Island Gazette, our local newspaper. So Sam had tapped into my best friend, Gazette editor Becky Walsh, to enlist Alice's help in getting him to commit. "Maddie, forgive me for balking at such late notice, but I'm just not sure we want to cheapen the inn's reputation by making it the setting for well, let's be honest, a show," Jacob said. Sal Bonadonna, owner of Bonadonna Liquors, the giant liquor store that continued to be one of the most popular places on the island regardless of season, gave a thoughtful nod. "I agree. It's a little theatrical. But they're used to the way they do it in Salem, right? It's all a big freak show up there." His disapproval was obvious in the slight sneer of his upper lip as he tipped his chair back.